Hello students, welcome to our channel AgriAddict. I am Alok and I am dealing with the subject Agronomy. Last class we have discussed about the soil water potential, and if you have not seen that video then please visit our channel and watch that video. But today in this video we are going to learn about Darcy's law. What is Darcy's law and where it applies and what are the limitations of Darcy's law we are going to discuss about today. Many of the students used to be confused what is Darcy's law. And to finish that confusion, I have brought this video for you guys. Okay, so without lag, let's move forward. Before going forward, if you have not subscribed to the channel, then please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to register with us as to take the JRF classes, then please contact this number and you will register with us. Okay, so let's move forward. Flow of water in the soil. So before going to discuss about the Darcy's law, we should know flow of water in the soil, because under this the Darcy's law applies and it comes. So if you see the flow of water in the soil, it may be in saturated condition or it may be unsaturated condition or in vapor condition. For example, a soil system is present, okay, and there are many macropores plus micropores are available. Yes or no? So when water will be fully saturated, when soil will be fully saturated, all the macro and micropores will be filled with the water. But due to the force of gravity, that water will be dragged down from the macropores and only the water will be held with the micropores. So those water which those are held with the macropores, that is moved by the force of gravity. So there is a force which is acting upon the water, so that there is a movement of water in the soil. Even in the micropores, there is a movement in the soil due to potential difference or tension difference. So there something force is acting upon for the movement of water. Yes or no? So the flow of water in the soil is very complex. It's very complex because of the various states, maybe gaseous, liquid, or anything, and direction in which water flows. It may move in any direction, and because of the force that causes it flow. So which force is acting upon, that is also not constant. We don't know which force will be acting upon. So irrigation water moves as a front from a saturated soil layer to an unsaturated layer, and movement of the flow is unsteady. That is not constant. Understood? That is not constant. So movement of water is more uniform in moist soil than in dry soil. If you see, the movement of water will be very constant when there will be much more amount of water. But in dry soil, there is no movement of water. That will be very unsteady. So from this slide, we are highlighting 2 points. One is the movement of water will be from saturated to unsaturated, and the water will be more uniform in moist soil than in dry soil. Understood? As soil water is evaporated, when there will be gradually the water level will be decreased, and that amount of water will be evaporated due to the presence of heat. So that water will be replaced with the capillary water rise. So there are some amount of water is present in the groundwater. That water will be gradually up due to capillary rise and replaces part of the evaporated water. So there are 3 movements in the soil of water. That is, one is saturated movement. Understood? One is saturated movement, another is unsaturated movement, and another is vapor movement. Okay, so Darcy's law applies in the saturated soil condition. Because in unsaturated we can apply Darcy's law, but that the hydraulic conductivity must be the function of the water content. Then only we can apply. So that is very complex system. We will discuss in the next class. Now we'll focus only on Darcy's law. So let's move forward. What is Darcy's law? Let's imagine a horizontal column of soil. Let's imagine a horizontal column of soil. This is my horizontal column of soil, through which a steady flow of water is occurring from left to right. Means in left something is there and in right something is there. Okay. From an upper reservoir to a lower, means there is a reservoir system is there. Okay. So that's how it connected. In each of which the water level is maintained constant. So here the water level is maintained constant. So we can see it is the water is flowing and there is a reference point here below. So this is our input and this is our output. Understood? So this is, I will give name HI and this is HO. So this is our hydraulic. So this is the difference. Okay, this is the difference in between two reservoir, input and output. That is del H, we can name it. Okay. So this picture we have to remember till the end of the class. One is one input is there, that is one hydraulic head is there, one soil column is there with a length of L and area cross section A, and there is another output is there. So, and we have maintained the water level constant. We have maintained the water level constant. So water is flowing from right to the left. So if there is any hydraulic head difference, so there will be movement of water will be up. Understood? So from the before slides shows that the discharge rate Q, being the volume P, means whatever the water is discharging, it is having one volume, that is V, flowing through the column. That soil column is there. So flowing through the column per unit of time, that is T. That is T is directly proportional, means it will be directly proportional to the cross sectional area. So whatever the soil column is there, so that is having one cross sectional area A, that is A. If it is small, it will go little slow. If it is big, it will go little faster. N to the hydraulic head drop. अगर ज़्यादा डिफरेंस है तो ज़्यादा मूवमेंट होगा, ज़्यादा फास्ट मूवमेंट होगा. अगर कम डिफरेंस है कम मूवमेंट होगा. एंड इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द लेंथ ऑफ द सॉइल कॉलम. अगर ज़्यादा लेंथ है तो ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा, अगर लेंथ कम है तो कम टाइम लगेगा. तो Q इज इक्वल टू, यहाँ पे देखिए, डिस्चार्ज रेट Q being the volume V flowing through the column per unit time. So Q is equal to V by T, which is directly proportional to the area cross sectional area and hydraulic head drop, and inversely proportional to the L. So this is what we used to see from the previous slide or previous figure. I can do here, okay, another time. So there is a column and we are having another here, another reservoir, that is output reservoir. So this water will flow when there will be hydraulic head difference, and it is directly proportional to that, and also area cross section, and also inversely proportional to the length of the soil column, and it is having one volume, that is V, and it is flowing through a unit time, that is T. So Q is equal to V by T, which is directly proportional to A del S divided by L. So that is the basic equation we are getting from that previous figure. So hydraulic head drop across the system is usually determined by measuring the head at the inflow boundary and at the outflow boundary relative to some reference level. So how we will measure that hydraulic head drop? By seeing the HI and HO, that is inflow boundary and outflow boundary, with a reference level, so that we can know that what is the HI and HO. Okay, we can know HI and HO by putting a reference level. So the difference between the head is del H is equal to Hi minus H0. Hi minus H0. So there is no flow when del H is equal to 0. If there is no head difference, so then obviously there will be no flow. When there will be any difference, there will be the water flow. So the head drop per unit distance in the direction of flow is the hydraulic gradient. So this is also denoted with the I, hydraulic gradient. So del H is equal to Hi minus H0 or HO divided by L, also denoted as the hydraulic gradient, which is in fact the driving force. Means it is driving to force that the water will flow from left to the right. So it is the major force here which is forcing the water to flow from the left to the right. Understood, everyone? So we are having here input, here output. So when there will be a difference in the hydraulic head with some the unit direction or unit distance in where it is directing the flow. So when there will be some difference with the unit distance, that is called hydraulic gradient, then there will be the flow of water from the left to the right. Also, it is the rate of change of hydraulic head with the distance. So del H means rate of change of the hydraulic head with the unit distance. That is called the hydraulic gradient. Okay. The specific discharge rate Q by A. The specific discharge rate Q by A, that is the volume of water flowing through a cross section of the A per unit time. So amount of water Q with the volume B is flowing across the cross section area per that is A per unit time. Okay, so that is called the flux density. So if simply I will say flux density means the amount of water that is flowing through a unit cross sectional area with some unit time. इतना time में कितना amount of water is flowing through that area cross section, that is called flux density or simply flux, and it is denoted with the small q. That is capital Q, this is small. So the flux density is proportional to the hydraulic gradient, that is I. Okay, so Q is equal to Q by A, and we know that Q is equal to V by T. Yes or no? So V by T and I directly proportional del S by L. Okay, so I can write this Q is equal to K. So I am removing this proportionality constant, so I am writing K del S divided by L, or I can write Ki. Okay, so if we'll see the previous equation, Q is equal to A del H divided by L. So if I write, that is also one proportionality there. So if I write this, so I will remove proportionality, I will write K and A will be there, and del S by L is a hydraulic gradient, that is I. So we will get Q is equal to KIA, or here is equal to Q is equal to Ki. Okay. So the short to remember is, that is Darcy's law, that is Q is equal to Ki or Kia. So Darcy तूने ऐसे क्यों किया, that is the shortcut. Darcy तूने ऐसे क्यों किया. Okay, so that is the short to remember the Darcy's law. So this short form was given by my teacher, and I am carrying forward it to you. Okay, and you will carry forward to your future, to your if you are going to teach anyone or anything, you will carry forward this. Okay, so to short to remember is Darcy's law, that is Q is equal to Ka. Darcy तूने से क्यों किया. Okay, Q is equal to Kia. So that is Q is equal to K del S by L. Okay, this is the final equation. So this equation is known as Darcy's law. In other words, hydraulic conductivity is the proportionality factor K in Darcy's law. So hydraulic conductivity is nothing but the proportionality factor in Darcy's law. So what is hydraulic conductivity? So it is a measure of the soil's ability to transmit water when submitted to a hydraulic gradient. जब एक पानी को हम एक हाइड्रोलिक ग्रेडियंट में डाल देंगे तो मिट्टी का कितना क्षमता होता है कि उसको वो एबिलिटी टू मूव इट move the water. Okay, it will be transmit that water amount in the that transmit the water in the hydraulic gradient. ठीक है, the hydraulic conductivity of soil is a measure of the soil's ability to transmit that amount of water when submitted to a hydraulic gradient. ठीक है, आप सबको समझ में आ गया? आगे बढ़ते हैं. So it depends upon some soil factor, that is soil grain size, soil structure, the type of the soil fluid, that is density of the fluid and viscosity of the fluid, and the relative amount of the soil fluid present in the soil. अगर ज़्यादा पानी है, saturated condition है, तो Darcy's law will be fully applied. If there is no water, then Darcy's law will be very limited. If the grain size is very coarse, so there will be discontinuity of water. Obviously, there will be discontinuity of water, so Darcy's law will be not applied. And the structure, what type of structure is present? If it is coarse, sandy, if it is blocky, prism, or it is granular. So what type of structure is present? That is also most important. Important properties relevant to the solid matrix of the soil include pore size distribution, macropore, macropore, what is the shape of the pore, tortuosity, tedameda, okay, tedameda, specific surface and porosity of the soil. So these are the things, factors are affecting the Darcy's law. So what are the limitations of Darcy's law? So it will be only when the flow is laminar. जब water का flow laminar होगा तभी ये Darcy's law apply हो सकता है. And where soil water interactions, जहाँ पे soil water interaction do not result in a change of permeability with a change of gradient. जहाँ पे permeability का factor यहाँ पे नहीं काम करेगा, वहाँ पे Darcy's law अप्लाई हो सकता है, नहीं तो नहीं. अगर वाटर का जो परमेबिलिटी, सॉइल का जो परमेबिलिटी चेंज होगा, अगर ग्रेडियंट चेंज हो तो वो Darcy's law अप्लाई नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि वाटर जो है वो डिसकंटिन्यू हो जाएगा. Since the saturated flow depends on the size of pores, management practices like cleanage may affect the porosity and hence the flow and hydraulic conductivity of the soil. अगर porosity break हो जाएगा, अगर porosity का increase and decrease होगा, then what will happen? The flow will be break and hydraulic conductivity of the soil will be affected. And also the pore spaces may be entered by gases. जब continuously एक soil submerge होकर हो गया तो क्या होगा? जो कुछ जगह पे pore space enter हो जाएगा, so that there will be breaking of the soil with the water. Okay, there will be discontinuity of the flow of water. So in that condition also Darcy's law will be not applied. In coarse sand and gravels, the hydraulic gradient in excess of unity. In coarse sand and gravel, the hydraulic gradient in excess of unity, it will be more than 1, result in non-laminar flow. So I told you in the first point, when there will be laminar flow, then only Darcy's law will be applied. And if there is non-laminar flow, there will be no application of Darcy's law. And where Darcy's law may not always be applicable. So that's it for today's class. Okay. So today we have discussed about the Darcy's law. Darcy's law means the amount of water or the discharge rate Q is flowing with the volume P per unit time T is directly proportional to the area of the cross section of the column, and also the hydraulic head drop, and inversely proportional to the length of the soil column. That is called Darcy's law. And if short form will write, Q is equal to KIE. That is all about the Darcy's law. And also it applies in the saturated soil movement. Okay, saturated soil movement, and in unsaturated soil it may apply with some condition. Means the hydraulic conductivity must be the function of the water content, then only it will be applied. So thank you guys, thanks for your time. So आज के बाद whenever you listen to the word Darcy, you have to say that Darcy तूने से क्यों किया. Q is equal to KI. Thank you guys. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, then please subscribe to our channel for this interesting lessons on weekly thrice. Thank you guys.